ਸਰੀ ਦੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਿੱਖ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਭਾਈ ਹਰਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਨਿੱਜਰ ਦੇ ਕਤਲ ਦੇ ਮਾਮਲੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਜ ਇੰਟੀਗ੍ਰੇਟਿਡ ਹੋਮਿਸਾਈਡ ਇਨਵੈਸਟੀਗੇਸ਼ਨ ਟੀਮ ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਆਈਹਿਟ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਖੁਲਾਸਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ। ਅੱਜ ਆਈਹਿਟ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਗਈ ਕਿ ਹਰਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਨਿੱਜਰ ਦੇ ਕਤਲ ਮਾਮਲੇ ਵਿੱਚ 3 ਵਿਅਕਤੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਗ੍ਰਿਫਤਾਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਤਿੰਨੇ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਐਡਮਿੰਟਨ ਤੋਂ ਗ੍ਰਿਫਤਾਰ ਕੀਤੇ ਗਏ ਨੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪਛਾਣ 22 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਕਰਨ ਬਰਾੜ, 22 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਕਮਲਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਅਤੇ 28 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਕਰਨਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਵਜੋਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ। ਇਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਫਰਸਟ ਡਿਗਰੀ ਆਫ ਮਰਡਰ ਅਤੇ ਕਨਸਪੀਰੇਸੀ ਟੂ ਕਮਿਟ ਮਰਡਰ ਦੇ ਚਾਰजेस ਲਾਏ ਗਏ ਨੇ।
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Superintendent Mandeep Mooker, and I'm the officer in charge of the Integrated Homicide Investigation Team. On June 18th, 2023, Hardeep Singh Nijjar was fatally shot and killed as he departed Guru Nanak Sikh Gurdwara in Surrey. Shortly thereafter, IHIT was called into conduct of this investigation. Over the past 10 months, IHIT has led an investigation in partnership with internal and external partners to advance this investigation. Through complex investigative techniques and tremendous support from the community, we were able to gather significant evidence that led us to the individuals that were responsible for this homicide. I'm here today to announce that we arrested and charged 3 individuals for first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder in relation to Hardeep Nijjar's homicide. IHIT investigators, along with Edmonton Police Services and numerous other RCMP resources, took custody of all 3 of these individuals in Edmonton, Alberta. The following 3 individuals were charged for this homicide. 22-year-old Garn who's an Indian national who is residing in Edmonton, Alberta. 22-year-old Kamalpreet Singh, who is an Indian national who is also residing in Edmonton, Alberta. 28-year-old Karnpreet Singh, who is also an Indian national residing in Edmonton, Alberta. We will be disseminating photos of these accused men in hopes of any information in relation to their presence in Surrey during the time of the offense. This investigation does not end here. We are aware that others may have played a role in this homicide, and we remain dedicated to finding and arresting each one of these individuals. At this time, I want to take a moment to recognize and thank CFSUBC, Edmonton Police Service, and Surrey RCMP Detachment for their unwavering dedication in the onset of this investigation. I would also like to thank the Nijjar family, the citizens of Surrey, and the Guru Nanak Sikh Gurdwara executive for their patience and understanding. We understand that the community is going to have a lot of questions. However, at this time, as this process is going through the court process, we may not be able to answer all the questions. In closing, I would like to say how proud I am of the IHIT investigative team, along with the investigative support unit, for their dedication and determination, and to continue this file to find out everyone that was responsible for the murder of Hardeep Nijjar. I'd like to pass.
So from the related questions I see, listen, the RCMP is always extremely concerned and very focused on public safety matters, of course, and the safety, the personal safety of any and all of our citizens. So we take all of these information that come to our attention very seriously in all business lines of the RCMP, from the detachment to, of course, homicide investigations to federal policing. To your question about former duty to warrants, I will repeat the same thing. Every piece of information that we receive is examined, and we have, and in many cases it has triggered in the past, as you are alluding to, obligations for duty to warrants. We have a very elaborate and strict protocol when it comes to that. We don't mess around with threats that we may receive, and we engage in those duty to warrants very quickly.
Any arrests that are made in situations like this are positive. I think on the flip side of that, though, like these are hired shooters that potentially carried this out. So for us, it's a question of where India's involvement is. I think we're still on that. The Indian consulates here, the High Commission, all the way back to New Delhi and this Modi regime and their intelligence agencies. So it's definitely a good outcome in the short term. In a criminal investigation, the politics of this assassination, though, are still kind of what we're looking from the Canadian government to find out more as to how to hold India accountable on that front.
What would bring this whole investigation closure for you?
I think for us, closure will ultimately be sovereignty in Palestine. Like, our activists have been targeted around the world, whether it's Mr. Nijjar or Guru Singh in the U.S. Many of us have received duty to warrants on our life as well. And I think that the closure is only going to come in the form of sovereignty. In the immediate sense, though, holding India accountable through a public inquiry in Canada, holding India accountable in international forums, including the United Nations, I think those are all pieces that we're interested in. So I think there's short-term and long-term goals for the community, and I think Canada plays a huge part in that now, since one of our citizens has been killed by a foreign state like India on their own soil.
What have you heard, apart from kind of the cop speak, about the case? What other details do you have about these three?
We don't have much, aside from the fact that they've been repeatedly referred to as Indian nationals. I do believe that people want that to be known out there, and I think it has to do with India's involvement in this, how these individuals are utilized, their potential criminal ties back in India, how they got into the country. I think all of those are questions that are outstanding for all of us right now. We don't have much more information than that. But I think that's a very important point, that as in this operation was carried out by India on Canadian soil by individuals that have more recently probably arrived here, but we're not even aware of that. So we're asking a lot of the same questions that we're being asked right now.
What were the
ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ ਕਾਨਫਰੰਸ ਦੌਰਾਨ ਆਈਹਿਟ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਖੁਲਾਸਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਇਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਤਿੰਨਾਂ ਵਿਅਕਤੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਰਮਨੈਂਟ ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਟ ਸਟੇਟਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਇਹ ਪਿਛਲੇ 3 ਤੋਂ 5 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦੌਰਾਨ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਸਨ ਅਤੇ ਐਡਮਿੰਟਨ ਤੋਂ ਸਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ ਕਤਲ ਨੂੰ ਅੰਜਾਮ ਦੇਣ ਆਏ ਸਨ। ਪੁਲਿਸ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਇਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਵਿਅਕਤੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਕ੍ਰਿਮੀਨਲ ਰਿਕਾਰਡ ਨਹੀਂ, ਪਰ ਇਸ ਕੇਸ ਸੰਬੰਧੀ ਹੋਰ ਕੋਈ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ। ਹਾਲਾਂਕਿ ਇਸ ਕੇਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡੀ ਅਹਿਮ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਕਥਿਤ ਇਲਜ਼ਾਮ ਲਗਾਇਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਮਾਮਲੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਭਾਰਤ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੀ ਏਜੰਸੀ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਮੂਲੀਅਤ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ, ਤਾਂ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਜਵਾਬ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਅਧਿਕਾਰੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਜਾਂਚ ਦੇ ਮੱਦੇਨਜ਼ਰ ਫਿਲਹਾਲ ਇਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਦਾ ਖੁਲਾਸਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ।